Back out like this to look skinnier.
All right, we are live. I don't know about all that.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Diana Martinez, and I'm with Montgomery Lone Star's Quilts of Valor. And this is Cheryl, and this is Deb, and they are two of the volunteers that are with me working on quilts for our veterans. Okay. To get started, the first thing I guess I would like to do is to tell you a little bit about Quilts of Valor. It is a national organization. That was a good question. It does service everyone in the United States. We've been very fortunate. We even sent a quilt to one of our veterans who, during COVID, had to move to Guam. So we've serviced not only, we just got back from somebody in Alabama and Florida. And so we're kind of a far-reaching group because I don't really know how to say no to people when they ask us to give a quilt to a veteran. We don't know that word. So 2003, Catherine Roberts started Quilts of Valor. The idea of Quilts of Valor came from a dream that she had. Her son was in Afghanistan, and I'm sure he told her that many of the soldiers that he was with were young and they were struggling, like many of our veterans do. And so she had this dream, and she saw a young soldier. He was sitting on the cot in his tent, and he was distraught, hands in his head. And it just, as the dream went on, someone came in and put a quilt around his shoulders, and it seemed to comfort him and heal him. So when she got up, I guess the next day, I'm not sure about that idea kind of germinated that she wanted to be able to give quilts. And I know that you as quilters understand that. We've been talking about how we give quilts to lots of different groups in the hope that it will comfort them and give them that healing that we want, something that we want to be able to do. So in the last 20 years, Quilts of Valor has given out 392,057 quilts. And I was explaining earlier, the Montgomery Lone Stars group last year gave out over 100. And then this year we're about up to 65, almost 75, and we have another 50 veterans on our national list. That doesn't count the groups that we're about to deliver who are not even in our list yet. We're about to do a presentation at the Heritage in Tomball, and then we have a couple of other like I said, I don't know how to say no. So if somebody says we want quilts for a veteran, we're always there to help them. The Montgomery Lone Stars group started, I had a group in Dallas when I lived there, and when I came here, it was in the middle of COVID. I was really struggling, not knowing people and what have you. It is something that I just couldn't do without. So I started another group here. Kimberly over at the other quilt shop was kind enough to, kind of be our sponsor at the time. And we started our group it's almost been 2.5 years ago, November, I think. What do you remember? You joined like a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Y'all have been going for a little bit.
We used to meet, there were 5 or 6 of us, and we would meet at Chandler's in that little porch area. We now have about 20 every month come to our sew day, at least, don't you think, girls? And it is it is like a big deal. They come in, they know the routine. We provide all of the fabric and the kits, and like a lot of times we have these are block kits, and people just grab them and they start working on them. We have some people, I was telling you earlier, we have some people who just want to cut, so they cut kits for us while we're there. Some people just organize our fabric, and then some people, we have an outreach with a middle school class, the 7th graders at Wellborn Middle School in College Station, And their whole class at the end of the year, their project is to make quilts for veterans. So they made the blocks. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that part. I taught middle school kids, and so I really love seeing them doing something. And let me tell you, those boys, they're like amazing. They are the best quilters ever. And that's who I hung out with all that we went to go help them get started. And that's who I hung out with. And they were amazing quilters. So it's always good to see guys involved in quilting. But they gave us enough blocks so that we could make 7 quilts. We have a group of people who are working on that right now. And we are at the stage where we're putting the tops together. We're gonna, hopefully Patty will be our quilter, and I need to ask her today. I didn't give her quilts last month because I wanted to give her a rest before she took it. So before I asked her for the big one today. But 7 quilts, that's a lot. That's 140 blocks. So every kid in that class, the whole 7th grade, gave a quilt block to us. Now, they're not perfect, and we don't care. The quilts are beautiful. They'll be on our Montgomery Lone Star Facebook page, and you can see it. We've got to get it to them by the beginning of October so they can display them in their library, and then have their presentation is going to be in November at Veterans Day on the 11th. So we're looking forward to that and helping them again. They've already asked us to support them next year, and we are more than willing to do that. So this group, Montgomery Lone Stars, I don't ever have to worry about, they tell me I'm the group leader, but the deal is that I don't have to do anything except show up. These ladies are amazing. So if you want to be part of something amazing, please, feel free to come join us. We have plenty of room. There's lots of tables, and we'll make room for everybody who wants to come. We meet every 3rd Tuesday of the month. So that is, what did I tell you, 17th of September. We are going to meet October, November, December. I asked, and we put a vote yesterday, and not a single person said they didn't want to come. They we have a good time. And there's no yah-yah. We call it yah-yah, right? There's no yah-yah. We just come, and we're there for a single purpose, which is, well, 2 people. 1, to have a good time, and number 2, to make quilts for our veterans, okay? It's at the Montgomery Community Building. Okay, that big
Alamo over there?
Yes, that's a good way of describing it. It looks like a small Alamo. It has the rock wall around it with the goat and that kind of stuff, and the jail out front. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to cut, then you just bring a rotary cutter and rulers and a cutting board. We'll have some things. We usually have some things there. If you want to sew, just bring your sewing machine. All the fabric we get, we have been very, very fortunate. We have a lot of very strong supporters, and the donations that we get from people allow us to have all the fabric that we need to do our quilts. So you don't have to bring fabric. Now, some people like Cheryl, she likes to she does a quilt a month. And so she does her own thing. She even does square quilts. No, I don't. No, I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I love her quilts are beautiful. In fact, I don't know if I brought it or not. Her quilts are beautiful, and it's amazing that she does one a month. And Deb too. Deb is these 2 ladies are way beyond, what you would call a volunteer. They're just much more than that. They're both, yeah, high five. That's right. You know it. Deb used to work for Exxon, and because of her work with Exxon, she does volunteer hours. And so her her volunteer hours pay for our storage building. Because there's not enough room at my house for all the stuff that we have. We're very, very fortunate, you know. As far as, let's see what else about the group. Anything else about it? Oh, long armors. Yes, we have several corporate long armors. Patty Roebuck is one of the ladies who is not only a long armor for her, she's a recipient. I don't know if you know that. She is a veteran and she has received a quilt from us.
And if you want to hear her, she's talking at 1 o'clock.
Right. And then we have GRS. They quilt for us, Miss Sombrero. They do 2 quilts like every other month. And then Double E also does quilts. They use our quilts when they teach their classes. And so it's kind of a double duty for us. They do the charity that they've chosen to use for their classes is us. And so we get 3 or 4, at least 3, you know, every other month. So that's really nice. And then we have people within our group. But let me just say this. With the number of people that veterans that we are giving quilts to, we really need long armors. So if any of you have a long arm and you would like to volunteer, you're welcome to do that. So the answer to your question is bring your sewing machine or whatever it is that you would like to work with. If you want to sew, we have, you know, plenty of room for everybody. We just kind of come together. We have, the whole place is full. You can bring fabric if you want to. We have people who donate fabric, but we have a lot that we can choose from. And we try to make sure that we have kits, like I said, and block kits. One of the things that we do with Tall Pines in Huntsville is provide them with kits like this every month. We go and we drop it off and they bring them back the next month. I can't, oh man, we had, I don't know. I think I did like 50 kits last time of 5 in each. And
we did a bunch of them doing log cabin blocks.
Yes.
We've done those. Those are pretty. And we sent them enough to like make 2 quilts.
And the potato chip block, and we do a lot of stars just because we can use those star blocks to do all kinds of different things. And I know some people worry. They are like, oh well, I didn't have enough to make a quilt. Well, it's okay because we put them together into kits once we get them. Okay. So I did bring some. You obviously aren't expected to take them, but I brought them just in case any of you were interested in it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what makes a Quilt of Valor. We do have, in the 6 years that I've been working with Quilts of Valor, I've had 2 veterans ask me for a quilt that is not red, white, and blue. Okay, and we obviously made those quilts for them because that's what they wanted. But the majority of our quilts, 99.9% of our quilts, are patriotic. And so we make our quilts big enough so that it covers them. The size it says on the page at qovf.org, we make ours a little bigger than that, at least 60 by 80, because we want them to cover our veterans. Okay, so we're going to show you just some examples of some of the quilts. You'll see a big diversity of things. I want to grab this. No, any size block, any pattern. Okay. You got it? Let's let these ladies see it over here. Walk around. Can you walk around over there? There you go. Yep. And every one of our quilts has a label on it that says Quilts of Valor. We order these from Spoonflower, but I mean, in the beginning we couldn't afford Spoonflower, so we just use muslin for it. You know, I just put in an order. It was like $30 for a yard. I know, it was expensive. Got it? It doesn't matter how you fold it up. Here's another one. But you see the size, guys?
And the colors are different too.
Yeah. You got it.
Got it. And that's the back.
Oh, she's taking pictures. This one was made by one of our volunteers. We have volunteers from all over the place. Hi, Regina. We have volunteers from all over the place. This is a lady who's from Katy. She can't come, it's a long ways, but she wants to support us. So she made this quilt. Oh, yeah. Got it.
That's the back.
One of our biggest expenses is batting and backing. We're fortunate again to have corporate sponsors that give us things at cost, so that helps a lot. Okay, I saved this one because we try to have a good time while we're there, and so the last time, let's see, when was it? 3 months ago when we did the jelly race?
Oh, she won.
So
No, that other lady did.
It was so funny. It was like brrr, brrr, brrr. Every single person. It was like quiet, and all of these. Yes, because it was like everybody. We were like, y'all got to get whoever gets done first gets a prize because it's a race, a jelly roll race. So anyway, this is one of the. And then we sent it home with them. We sent the jelly rolls home with them, and they cut them up and redid them so that they'd be big enough, right? Added, yeah. Yeah, that one's a big one. I don't remember who turned this one in, do y'all? But you see how we had these spare, that's why these blocks are so important to us, because we had spare blocks. And out of the spare blocks, we used them in the corner so that we could make it a little bigger. Isn't it pretty? Gorgeous. So now for December, I have something fun planned. So if you guys want to join us, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a puzzle. I'll just tell you that. It'll be a surprise. They don't even know.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know anything about it. Okay, so for most of the volunteers that we have, they have something in their background that has encouraged them or led them to be a volunteer for Quilts of Valor. And for me, it was my dad. I never made a quilt for him. He died, rather young, and I was just beginning to quilt. And so all the quilts that we do, that's my memory. My husband was in Vietnam. My oldest son was at Desert Storm. My uncles, we all have some kind of a history with that. And so if you get a chance to come to one of our ceremonies, I would tell you it is life-changing. We have veterans who come back just because they're part of our family. Because as soon as we wrap them, because that's part of the ceremony, that quilt gets wrapped around their shoulders and we get to tell them thank you for what they've done. And when that is over, those veterans and their families are part of our family. We tell them that. And we also tell them that if they wear out their quilt, which is what we want them to do, we'll make them another one. So we have veterans who come back to our presentations who were given quilts 2 years ago. Mr. Peterson and Mr. Hughley, lots of them who come back with their families just to be there to support the veterans that we have. And it is really amazing to hear their stories and to be a part of just saying thank you. And we have some very touching stories and some men and women who have been through a lot, and for us to be able to do something very, for us, making a quilt is like eating spaghetti. You know what I mean? It's not something that we worry so much about. But then when there's 6 or 7 people that touch every one of the quilts that we have. So, and then all the love that's back behind that. So I want to invite you to come be part of our family. Quilts of Valor, like I said, the 3rd Tuesday of every month. And if you know of someone who is a veteran, many someones, that's our mission, to cover all of these men and women. I gave you a card that tells you, no, it doesn't really say, it just gives you some information about the quilts. But if you need more information, I can give you another card that has some background on it. But you go to qovf.org. And if these veterans are part of our community anywhere in the Houston area, then you can say that it's coordinated with our group, and we will make sure that they get a quilt as soon as possible. Okay? qovf.org. Yeah, babe.
Is there like a minimum age requirement?
No. The only requirement is that they pledge to serve our country, and they were honorably discharged. That's it. Yes.
We also have given them to current service
Yes.
members.
Yes.
So
Yes. We can do that. And a lot of times that happens because we have a grandfather, father, and son, or a father and son, or a mom and a son or daughter, or what have you. And those are always lots of fun. We like doing that too. I don't know. We haven't done that. We have never done that. But I don't know. We'll go. We volunteer. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. We try to stay around in Texas, like I said, but we have given to other states around us, So, and if we have someone who lives here and they have a family member that lives in New Hampshire, we make sure they get it or what have you. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I'm so glad you're here. 3rd Tuesday of every month, around 10 o'clock till 2, usually around 10 to 2. We go and have lunch, spend time together talking, making plans for more quilts. Making a plan all the time. That's right. I think you want to give these away. How do we do that?
Like 1 in 50, and whoever gets closest to what you're thinking, they get it.
Oh, I get to choose.
Maybe whisper in her ear so they don't think you're cheating. So she don't cheat. Maybe you should whisper in my ear.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Start naming numbers. 7, 4, 12, 11, 36. Winner, chicken dinner, right on the nose.
Oh, so
okay, keep going.
Oh, another number.
Another number you got to do for.
1 to 50.
Or 1 to 100. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just whatever you want. 1 to 20. 1 to whatever. Okay. It's 1 to 100.
Is that too much?
We'll start over here. 86, 75, 13, 68, 78, 71. 61. Winner, chicken dinner. Right on the nose. Okay, we'll do 1 to 20 now.
1 to 20.
1 to 20 now.
Okay, 1 to 20.
Okay. 18, 15, 12, 9, 7, 8, 16, 1, 20.
Who said 2? Who said 2? There you go.
Okay, 1 to 10. Let's get it tighter.
Hmm.
Oh, there's more than 10 people here. We can't.
Yeah, can't do that.
1 to 20. Okay. 17. 19.
19. Yay, baby! Okay, I'll expect those made into a quilt by September 17th. They all give me. We have a couple other people that are usually with me when I go on the road, and they always, Jean always says that I'm over there cracking the whip, you know. But that's not true. I'm the servant. I'm the servant. Are there any other questions? We're so glad y'all came in to hear about us, and I hope that we see you, you know, on September 17th or whenever you can come. Okay? All right. Thank you.